Well, really, there shouldn't be a coup in Nigeria. Well, amid calls for military takeover, retired Army General steps in, asks Tinubu to respect the rule of law, promotes good governance to prevent a coup. Well, thank you very much for joining us. This is Serious Matters here at ONIF TV. Please do share videos with others, drop your comment, make them simple and civil. Brigadier General John Sura, retired former commander of one division, stressed that respect for the Constitution and the rule of law is crucial to preventing a coup. Now, citing the importance of well-governed countries. Now, amid calls for the military takeover, retired general steps in and has asked Tinubu to respect the rule of law, promote good governance to prevent a coup. So it's not just an issue of saying it mustn't happen. We must do the needful as to prevent, what we don't want from happening. Because personally, I don't think the army taking over is the best for us. You understand? Because the system is corrupt. Do you understand? We only need an adjustment. We only need an adjustment and the set of people and all of that. We just need an adjustment. Well, going forward, amid online reports, not on TV though, calling for military coup d'etat in Nigeria. Several Nigerian retired military generals have shared their opinions on how to prevent coup from happening in Africa. In his statement echoing concerns about recent coup attempts across Africa, retired military generals in Nigeria have cautioned President Bola Tinubu's government that the key to averting such crisis lies in upholding the Constitution and promoting good governance, which has always been what we have been crying and shouting about. We should do things the way they ought to be. We should have leaders that will have regards for the rule of law, not leaders who will put institutions under their foot. Well, against the backdrop of successful coup in some neighboring African countries or nations, these retired military leaders spoke to Punch, stressing that while coup should not be encouraged, the populace should not be taken for granted. The populace should not be taken for granted. So even outside coup, there are things that could happen that could create an imbalance in the economy. That could create an imbalance that could destabilize, running of government smoothly. While responding to these concerns, the Nigerian government downplayed the possibility of a coup, emphasizing that nation's commitment to democracy and the strengthening of its democratic institution. Mohammed Idris, the Minister of Information and National Orientation State, said, "I can tell you that there is no fear or apprehension at all. We have gone past that, and we have been a democratic country all this while, with the institutions of democracy getting stronger." Well, that's true, and that's okay. The recent coup, he said, in Gabon, the second in Africa in 2023, saw military soldiers taking control and placing the disposed president Ali Bongo and his family under house arrest. This incident has raised questions about the stability of democracy government across the continent. Retired General Alexander Ogumodea, a former chief of defense staff, argued that elected government should fulfill their campaign promises and uphold the country's constitution to maintain legitimacy and avoid a coup d'etat. Now, he pointed out that when leaders fail to do so, they risk losing moral support. Brigadier General Philip Ashim concurred, emphasizing the importance of good governance as a way to prevent coup in Africa. Brigadier General John Sura, retired former commander of Division 1, stressed that respect for Constitution and the rule of law is crucial to preventing a coup, citing the importance of well-governed countries. You see, we can go on and on. And that's the truth. If you have followed my recent video, especially those that bordered around happenings in, nations where, militaries have taken over and all of that, you will realize that I've not been biased in my recommendations and my thoughts about opinions about this stuff's happening around here. And I believe strongly, good governance is all we need. We just need somebody who will do something, who will do the right thing and all of that. Maybe I should just take this from Major General Henry Ayola, retired, former commander of the Special Task Force Operation Safe Haven, called for true democracy where the rule of law and due process are respected. He noted that the current governance style in Africa, characterized by impunity and disregard for democratic principle, must change to keep the military out of government. And that is the truth. Because when you say the military comes to take over, is that we now have a set of people who will enforce the law. Whereas it's supposed to be a free flow of a government by the people and for the people. That's the way it's supposed to be. So we just keep having these backlogs of, ups and downs and all of that. And in conclusion, these retired military generals emphasizes that the best way to prevent a coup in Africa is through governance, good governance. That's the only way. I mean, how do you explain it? When the military took over in Gabon or in Niger, the people were celebrating. Whereas the person you said they should reinstate was causing them harm. They were not celebrating the person. These people took to the streets, It now seems to us, where in fact, the question is, who is military amongst them? Is it the democratically elected? It's as if, these guys have swapped office. It's as if the military are more democratic than even the so-called democratically elected leaders. It's as if the military even feels it more. It's as if the military understands the simplicity of what government should be in a democratic, sphere. Because democracy is supposed to be a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So if you do not want a coup, it's supposed to be all about good governance. And, we have said times and again, look, coup d'etat is simply when you did not win an election and you say you won, and you force your way into the place. Coup d'etat is when, you do not, a court gives an order and you do not obey the order. That is a coup. Coup could take any form. It's not only when when military come to take over power. There could even be a coup even in the same government. By, within the same democratic or whatever you call it kind of government. That's why good governance is key to putting things under control. Respect for the Constitution and adherence to the rule of law. They believe that if politicians fulfill their promises and uphold democratic principles, the temptation for coup will diminish, ensuring a stable and prosperous future for the continent. Interesting. Talking about fulfilling promises. Well, I don't know, Sha. I don't know how many people have come. We've kept saying that the best president we've had so far is President Musa Yar'Adua, which of course didn't stay long. May his soul rest in peace. It's sad. It's sad. Jonathan, that we thought was a bad person. Unfortunately, we've always had, even when we kept complaining, oh, this one is not good, this one is not, we've always had a worse one. Somebody who is not as good. Let me not use the word, I retract that. Let me say that we've always had somebody that will always make us to feel we lost the previous person that we were complaining about. Very unfortunate when things are supposed to get better. I have not been able to comprehend, even though we've been spending heavily on fuel. How do you explain 20,000 on fuel with very, very good movement within a week is gone? How do we explain it? How do we explain it? Well, it's a serious matter. I think I have to go now. Please do share videos, others drop your comment, make them simple and simple. Let us know what your opinions are. Very, very important. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, please share videos to others. God bless you. Bye-bye.